So a couple of days ago, my partner reminded me about an argument I had with a totally not transphobic feminist, the I'm not transphobic but variety, that involved the notion that trans men were more valid in women's spaces than trans women and had more input into feminism simply because they shared the same experiences, which I thought was quite curious, to be honest, because I think a lot of trans men would, what's the word I'm looking for? Disagree. Anyway, she gave a list of examples, and my partner looked at it and was like, nope, 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 nope. There was one on the list that was physiological and actually did matter, and that was the only one that matched this shared experience that this totally not transphobic feminist had come up with. I couldn't find specific screen caps of this particular portion of the discourse. I've actually put others from this same bit up in the past, but as far as I can tell, that entire comment section is now toast. And so I can't point to or recall directly what the things were, but they were sort of things like, the pressure to wear a padded bra, or spending money on hair and nail products, and God, what could a trans woman ever relate to with those? But of course, my partner, who identifies as non-binary, doesn't. This was a woman who wanted to have a discussion on trans issues, but was unwilling to listen to anything that was said on the matter whatsoever, and that's a problem that I'm going to revisit very, very soon. But there is sort of this underlying issue here that these presumptions don't really pan out all that well, and I could point to trans men and non-binary individuals who would agree that they do not share the so-called female experience. At the same time, growing up, I didn't really pick up a lot of the social cues for masculinity, or whatever you want to call it, and if not for violence in my life, I probably wouldn't have adopted any either. Still, I did so sort of by observation and rote, and at best I tend to be aware that when somebody's talking about such and such, they're going to be including me, but yeah, it doesn't fit. I heard somebody describe this phenomena, and I forget who, but, this isn't an original thought, but is basically the equivalent of having the radio tuned to the wrong station. These things may be aimed at you, but you don't necessarily pick up on them and or experience them because you're busy picking up the normalization and social cues from somewhere else. This is the byproduct of not thinking your argument through too much. She didn't understand the experience that a lot of, probably not all, but a lot of trans men and assigned female at birth non-binary individuals experience. Things that might not fit in with her preconceived notion of being born with a uterus or a vagina or whatever your delineation point is. Money on hair care products, if that wasn't the case, just I like long hair, but not necessarily the maintenance that goes into certain elements that goes along with it. I don't want to go into full detail, but hopefully you get the point. That's not to say that there aren't things that I don't experience, or things that my partner does experience, because, especially when you get into the physiological realm, which maybe if she was really interested in shared experiences she should have gone with. Once you get into that realm, I'm never going to deal with debilitating menstrual cramps or PMS of any kind. I'm never going to have children in the sense of actually giving birth to them unless there is some really strange breakthrough in medical science in the near future. But if you're going to go that route and argue that that's why trans women don't have a place in feminism, then you should probably stick specifically to reproductive issues or toilet paper stuck in the labia, because I've seen this feminist channel, and she talks about gender roles and the like, and those affect more than just people who have periods. And that's not even getting into the messier stuff like intersex individuals, cis women who can't have kids, hell, cis women who don't have any sort of period at all, cis women who are missing parts of the reproductive tract. There are women born without vaginas, women born without uteruses, etc., etc., etc. Biology is kind of a fucked up thing when you really get down to it. But hey, it's not like she has spent most of her time since then railing against trans women rather than talking about, quote-unquote, actual feminist issues. The real things that affect, quote-unquote, real women. Yeah. Except, oops, I've seen her channel. Never mind. So that's my lot. Thanks for listening. Amaranth out.